You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York.
You don't know how drastic it is until you try to do it, because like I do it, and you're like, oh yeah, unique New York, bro.
Unique.
You know what?
You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York.
You know New York. You. Instantly. Okay.
Instantly.
I did the same thing.
You know New York. Now I'm busted. Okay. All right. Everybody, welcome back to the Project Manga podcast, where we cover One Piece, My Hero, Black Clover, Mashle, Chainsaw Man, and Jujutsu Kaisen week to week. Back this week covering Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 33
and 34.
I should really be keeping track of this. 33 and 34.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. There was no like word of it or anything like that. It was super spontaneous. I mean, like
we thought we'd be able to like. Yeah. We were like at the beginning of the year. We were like, oh man, it's gonna be so nice because our episodes are gonna sync right up with the issues, and they always do this fuck shit to fuck with us. But anyways,
yes,
I'm your host, Eagle,
Noxie,
and Nickums.
And as always, before we get started, we'd just like to say, go ahead and visit that link tree in the description box down below, where you can find links to any and all of our online communities, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to support the podcast if you would so choose. And while you're down there, you can also find timestamps for each segment so that you can avoid spoilers and just listen to what you're current in if you would like to do that. So with that all said, how you guys feeling about this weekend? Oh, also Kiko's gone. Forgot to say anything about that. You know, you all love him and his Chainsaw Man shit so much, but he had some personal shit to deal with this week, so he'll be back for the next episode. Yes. But how you guys feeling about this weekend jump?
Great. I miss Kiko
Amazing.
a lot. This is a big week. Like it's
it is a big week.
It's all six of them. Yeah, it's all six of them. Shit cracked the fuck off, and Chainsaw Man was huge too. Yeah. So, but hey man, say man, this is gonna be an incredible conversation. I can't wait to get into it.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. Well, let's get right into the shits then.
Yeah.
Chapter 115 of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya Incident, Part 33. Woo! And I can't remember, like 4 or 5, maybe 10 episodes ago, we like jokingly were like, oh, over under, part, I can't remember like what we all said, but I think
we were making it a joke that it was in the
35, 40, and it's like gonna get up there.
Yes.
Bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. And hey, fuck it.
It's fine. Yeah.
This is cool though.
It's been one of the best arcs ever.
This has been one of the best arcs ever. And like the internet always like talks about like classic shonen arcs, or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. And obviously there are a lot of them out there, Chunin Exams, Chimera Ant Saga, things like that. Mm-hmm. But like this one, for real and for true, really feels like it'll join that echelon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's super exciting. This is being handled so well by M.A.N.G.A, and this fight with Sukuna and Joko is so fucking cool, dude.
Hell yeah.
And once Mappa does their thing,
oh man.
Yeah, can you imagine this arc? How many episodes will this arc be? Like, it'll be like a whole 2 seasons or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
The only thing I could imagine that would make it better is if Madhouse did it, because then it would truly be Hunter-esque. But I guess,
but like honestly, I feel like you
the style that Hunter is, like it almost. This seems like maybe Mappa would fit it a little better, just because the combat seems a lot quicker. Similar to One Punch Man.
Yeah, and that's
even though it is just as calculated as Hunter combat. I'm not trying to take that away.
And at the same time, Mappa is like, related to Madhouse. You know what I mean? So it's like,
isn't it a sublet?
It's like a sublet or subsidiary or whatever the term is.
Subsidiary studio.
But and honestly, like when you see the official art, that we get for the Jujutsu Kaisen anime, it looks like, at least I feel like you could tell that there are Hunter like artists from Madhouse that like ran to this project, like knocked on the door, like, yo, you're gonna let me in on Jujutsu Kaisen, right? like you could I could just feel like their aesthetic, like art, you know, like influence, like in the character models and shit that we get for like Panda that we've seen so far, Inumaki, Maki, you know, Zenin and shit. Like if you look at their character models, they're very reminiscent of like Hunter x Hunter character models from when that anime was introduced in the reboot. You know what I mean? So I feel
exciting.
I feel like we can be pretty confident that at least some Hunter x Hunter people are going to be working on Jujutsu Kaisen, because dude, they're still drawing Hunter, like those artists from Madhouse are still like in their free time drawing Hunter x Hunter characters and like putting them on the internet. Like you could tell they really miss working on that show. So
yeah.
The true telling thing would be if are any of those artists also drawing Jujutsu Kaisen art?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. Yeah, that's what I'm like thinking, at least. I don't know if any of that is confirmed because I haven't like looked into it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, based on the character models that we've gotten for the official artwork for the show, it feels a lot like Hunter x Hunter art. But
anyways.
Yes, absolutely. Getting into the chapter.
Reel it back in.
Yeah. Fucking dude. Okay, so Jogo just keeps getting bullied like by Sukuna, and it's crazy how, and we were talking about it a little bit on the show earlier in the season about how, you know,
this choreography.
The choreography is drastic, but also like we were talking about how like Jogo always looks silly because he's always up against silly, or always up against like overwhelmingly powerful enemies, you know, like Gojo and Sukuna and whatnot. But then like we get a break and actually see what he means as a curse to the real world. And we have like moments where we like, and it's crazy how M.A.N.G.A can write like a character that we all talked shit about in a way that had us like rooting for him, like Gojo, go, that was fucking awesome. And then boom, right back to like, okay, this is what the difference of power means. And it can happen like that quickly where you're like, Jogo's a bitch. Oh no, Jogo's raw. Oh no, Jogo's a bitch. You know what I mean? And it's like,
well, and even jumping forward a little bit till later in the chapter, it's like the glimpse into his psychology that we get, like that he's still being affected by Gojo overwhelming his territory at the beginning of the series. Like he does not want to use his territory against anybody that he like considers, you know, stronger than himself or even on his par, because he's like, well, I'm gonna lose. Even though it's like, bro, like we've said on the show multiple times, like his fucking territory is crazy.
It is
like that's one of the most OD ones.
You're
but when you burn just being in the motherfucker.
But when you know you're gonna get smoked, then it's just like, why even, you know, it makes sense that he wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's Sukuna.
Against Sukuna.
And maybe it's
but it's still awesome when Sukuna's like spoken like a true loser. It's like, wow.
But that even like looking back to the Naobito, you know, instead of doing what he did to Naobito, Nanami, and Maki, could he have just like went territory and fucking fucked them all up? But maybe he didn't want to, because he's like, if I do that, I'm gonna lose in a battle of territories and fuck myself. You know?
Plus, we don't know how many territories like he gets to use. Like, you know, because there is a thing where it's like very rare.
Isn't it one a day?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very rare if you can do more than one a day.
You know what I mean? I think like we actually did get dialogue on how Gojo's one of the only people who can do more than one a day.
Right. And I mean, Jogo is strong enough to where it would make sense if we found out he could do more than one a day. You know what I mean? But I mean, like they were talking about Dagon, like we got to get his fucking domain out of here so that we know he's not going to use another one again. You know what I mean? We can fight him on equal footing. You know, one more time. So I mean, I don't know but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Jogo could use it twice. But dude, the choreography, like we were saying, bro, he fucking goes in, readies up the fucking fireball. Next panel, arms cut off. Arms cut off. Sukuna hand on the face. Or no, what does he do? Oh no, he slices his hands
volcano.
up.
He hits his volcano into his head. He collapses his volcano head.
Yeah.
And then instead of doing what I thought he would do last time, and
what did you say?
Down, I thought he would like blitz down, beat some people up while he was still in the air, and then go back up and beat his ass. But he fucking smashes him down, blitzes down, meets him, smashes his ass down into the fucking building.
This was a very Toriyama-esque exchange in this initial. And like you see this like all the time in Dragon Ball, where they do the overhead slam down in the air, and then they fucking meet them, you know, like while they're falling, and follow up the combo. You know what I mean? So that's it was really cool to see that. And
the paneling here with Sukuna's face and
bro,
shit.
I was literally just about to say,
you can just tell how much fun he's having. Like,
man,
he's fucking with my
having
man,
the time
bro.
of his life. This motherfucker's jaw is gone. He looks like fucking Baron Underbite from Venture Brothers right now when he takes the fucking jaw off, bro. I was like, oh my god, man. And he's fucking blood's coming out of his mouth and shit.
Yeah.
He's got like, and something that like I always forget is that like Jogo has like an onyx grill or just like black teeth, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I always
Well, you would think it's like obsidian. I was just gonna say like volcanic
because like a volcano. Yeah.
I always forget, you know, like about that. But like I've seen previous, you know, panels of him like, you know, like throughout the week. You know what I mean? Because Jogo's obviously one of the main characters in this chapter, and I was like, oh yeah, he's always had these like black teeth. Like even back when he first fought fucking Gojo and shit, like
he be smiling too.
He be showing them all too. Oh yeah. Really cool to see Kusakabe activate here for a second. So we have this
Bato Jutsu.
Bato Jutsu, right? So this is what I was talking about in the Discord a little bit earlier too, because the translation on this, I mean, we can be pretty confident that Steady knows, you know, what words, you know, are saying here, but it was awkward to me just because like me and Kiko are like really big like swordsmanship like nerds, you know what I'm saying? So when I see it say Bato sword drawing, it felt like awkward to me because Bato by itself means directly translates to sword drawing. So it feels like a double negative here is like kind of like being used.
Sword drawing,
Bato sword
Sure,
drawing.
sure.
Like I remember looking at it like at least put a colon there, you know, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm making too big of a deal about it.
See, like this is where they're like, oh, this will sound cooler.
Yeah.
Even though we're being redundant as fuck.
Yeah. I don't know. Right. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe I'm just
put Bato Jutsu, motherfucker.
Yeah, like anything, you know, like anything like that. Yeah, and
no, let me chill out.
No, but see, and this is another thing that I was talking about in the Discord is that like the difference between like Iaido or Iai Jutsu and Bato Do and Bato Jutsu is like there's a lot more similarities than there are differences. But Bato Jutsu and Batodo like focus like more like, okay, so obviously like inside of EI and inside of Bato you have like the forms where you unsheath, attack, flick the blood off your sword, and then put it back in the sheath, right? And inside of like manga and anime you have you know, illustrators and authors that take advantage of the superhuman speed differences between real people and anime characters. That's why you see like in Zoro's Shishi Sansan, he fucking like readies the attack and then attacks. And like you don't ever see the sword leave the sheath, you just see it going back in. That's obviously not something that humans can really do. And if you like actually look up EI Jutsu like demonstrations, it looks nothing like Shishi Sansan or anything of the like. Yamato also or Yamamoto from Bleach also, you know, uses a fighting style like that. There's like it's all over the place inside of anime and manga.
Brooke does it sometimes.
Brooke also, Brooke also like has like shit like that. But when we see here now, like okay, so like when we see here, I would have to see Kusakabe attack again before I could, you know, confidently like say like whether or not like I feel like it's actually tried and true Bato Jutsu or if it looks more like Iaido or Iai Jutsu. But like because here he has the sword out and you can see the actual sword attack with the sword out of the sheath, and then next panel it's back in the sheath already, but obviously it looks like some time has passed. Usually if it is going to be like an Iaido or an Iai Jutsu kind of situation, it would just be the you know what I mean, it would just be like the really quick like fluid motion here. But I'm just saying basically I would love to see, I can't wait to see him attack again and see if it's all going to be like out of the sheath kind of techniques or if he is going to employ, you know, some really quick sheath and resheathing, you know, styles or of combat too.
Is M.A.N.G.A trying to portray EI and Bato more realistically, where you wouldn't just immediately put it back because like you really can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I don't know. I just like the only real difference between Batodo and Iaido is that like in between the unsheathing, flicking the blood off, and putting the sword back in the sheath, Bato Jutsu and whatnot like focuses more so on the sword play. There's more sword play in between those three forms. You know what I mean? Which we can kind of clearly see here. But at the same time, like earlier in translations, like when Miwa was using the Shinkage style in the Exchange Festival, I think it was Steady, I think this is an official translation, used Bato and EI on the same page. Sure. You know what I mean? So so that's why this confusion like kind of like is there for me, even though it's very clear in this one scene that there is a little bit more sword play outside of the sheath going on. But still love Kusakabe. Love
I don't know why, like just the way his hands look on the sheath, on the handle of the sword. It's just so fire.
Delicate, or like, super finesse, dexterity,
just masterful. Cool. Like you can tell he's so familiar with the sword. Like he's just a master, low-key master of the swordsmanship.
Yeah,
I love it.
These people he attacked, these are the ghetto group people that Panda had sensed last chapter, right? We were like, who else is there? Like,
what are these people?
Of course, they're like nameless, kind of like cronies or whatever that just get immediately obliterated. But at least now we get confirmation of like who was Panda sensing exactly.
Yeah, and we know that they're a part of the ghetto group because the ghetto people that we're familiar with from last chapter say like, hey, not yet. You know what I'm saying? Like not like you know what I'm saying? Like Sukuna's doing shit like right over here. You know what I'm saying? Like chill for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
Yeah. And then oh my god, when
fire ass moment,
bro, when Sukuna pulls up, it was literally like the exact same vibes as when Meruem like shoots the N out like after he like comes back from the
and
miniature rose
next to
he comes back from the miniature rose and he has his N that's like infused with Poof's spiritual message, so he can like sprinkle his fucking N like falling snow and then just instantly teleport wherever he needs to go, and he shows up next to Knuckle and Melioran and pat, you know what I mean? Like I was like, no, bro. I was like, oh, it's over with. But he plays a fucking funny ass game with him, which is so much more like Sukuna than Meruem. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I love the difference, but the homage at the same time. If that is a direct one, I think we can confidently say it is.
Sukuna's a motherfucker.
Sukuna is a motherfucker, bro.
And these panels of everybody shitting themselves, bro. Like I laughed out loud. Panda had me dead,
bro.
And then he issues the order, and like the meteors coming down.
Yeah,
that shit was fire when they all blitzed out. Man, so many of these moments I cannot wait to see.
And his presence is so overwhelming that you don't like when he says no humans are allowed to move or else I'll kill you. You don't get any dialogue from anybody. You don't get any like reaction. They just listen. And then as soon he says Itadori. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying like even Panda stays put. When everyone tells you to stay put, you just be careful and you stay put. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Exactly. Like
that's
they know
the weight
they
of
get
his
it.
Presence,
exactly. That's the weight of his presence. And as soon as he says, "All right, cool," and then they're gone. No reactions, just after images bounce. You know what I mean? And his face, dude, Sukuna's face, dude, he's having the time of his life when he releases the hold on him, like, okay, go now. Yeah, it's just like, god damn, bro. And then the panel afterwards with the meteor dropping, the double page spread, holy shit, bro.
Before we move too far past this, though, like going back a little bit to what you were saying, where you know we get even more reinforcement of just how strong Jogo is.
Yeah,
like even though we've gotten a bunch of moments that like speak. Like that's just masterful writing where you get all these moments that like make you think like, oh, Jogo's a bitch, whatever. He ain't shit.
Yeah.
But then you get these, fucking dialogue from Kusakabe here where he's like, yo, this is legit elephants dancing on ants. You know, he's putting Jogo in the second similar echelon. Like we obviously know that he's, above that guy, Jogo a good bit, but he's putting him in a similar echelon where it's like, yo, this dude is not a joke.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I wanna talk a little bit about the meteor a little bit more because
go ahead.
No, it's fine. This I think is a turning point for the kind of world building aspect of this battle because up until now, people die. You can cover up people dying of weird shit. You can't cover up a meteor destroying like an entire city block in Julia.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No matter, even if the entire place is evacuated, the people that are in areas surrounding it that aren't evacuated are seeing a meteor come down no matter what.
And I'm just wondering, like, where did he bring this? This is from outer space?
Yeah.
I thought he was a volcano man. What the fuck? So is he just like, where's the nearest volcano? Just shot a motherfucking artillery shot.
Oh, dude, yeah. I didn't even think about that. I just assumed that it was coming from space. Just because
I don't know. That's a really interesting
point. If he did
yeah.
shoot a fucking giant massive rock out of Mount Fuji,
that'd be sick.
Dude, whoa, dude. That would be ridiculous,
That's fucking crazy.
Wow.
But
holy shit.
Let's get into it here.
So when we get this situation here where Sukuna is obviously like copying, to a certain degree, Jogo's fighting style.
Well, hold on. Yeah.
Oh wait, isn't that what we're talking about?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, first thing I thought it was Jing Freaks, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Just so good at Juryoku that he just can. I see fire. Yeah, I could do fire. Yeah, let's try it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I did it.
Exactly. And I think that is more of like a time and experience based thing, because he's old as shit, he's strong as shit, and he lives for war and fighting. You know what I mean? So he's been in, over the course of his very long life, he's been in countless battles and fights that are Juryoku based. So it makes sense that he would have an understanding of the system to a point where he could take, base principles of like aura manipulation or cursed energy manipulation and be able to like manifest that in any way that makes sense to him with that understanding. I think it would be cooler. And a lot of people seem to have, like from what I've seen on the internet, I try to stay off, Twitter and outside of group chat conversations until we do our show. But I mean, obviously for a chapter like this, I can't help but like try to see what people are talking about. and it's cool that a lot of people like kind of like have the same idea. But there was one thing that I saw that people were talking about, that a couple different people were talking about this word.
This black square
that's blacked out. Now in the scans, that word is actually, a kanji or katakana or hiragana or whatever. And Steady just blacked it out. You know what I mean? But I don't know, because the word is French apparently. I didn't have any time to like actually like look into it myself, but I did see a conversation where people were saying that the word was fugue, which is a French word, I believe they said, which has something to do with music. You know what I mean?
Fugue. Oh, like
fugue.
A fugue.
Fugue. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're familiar
with
that
musical thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't
it's
know.
It's like a symphony, a fugue. A dirge. Some sort of type of music.
Yeah. And there were some really cool things that people were saying, but like it was just me like jumping into the chat and then like seeing what they were talking about. Like that looks interesting, and like jumping out. But like, so I didn't have time to like extensively research it. But they sounded like they had like they were onto something. You know what I mean? So
that's
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know exactly like what that's about, but that's also really interesting that Steady, saw a translated word there and just decided to replace it with open, and then leave.
So was the black square a kanji, or was open fugue?
I'm trying to remember the scans. I'm pretty sure that fugue was the black square, and then he said something else too.
Besides open,
or maybe he said open after fugue. I can't remember.
Sure,
but that's just an interesting choice that he made there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. This is fucking cool. But at the same time, him copying the technique here, I mean, you could assume that he's mimicking what Jogo is doing in his stance right here. But Jogo's obviously looks a little bit more controlled, and like the flame illustration that he has in his hand, and Sukuna's looks a little bit more like not like a little bit more sporadic. Like it looks a little bit like less formed.
Or is it meant to portray? This is like you're talking the last page of the chapter.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
Or are you saying, or maybe is that his is just more intense? It's
maybe his is more intense,
raging ball of fire.
Or maybe it's just not perfect because it could be more intense, or it's not perfect. It could just be like the Sukuna version of whatever he's copying. You know what I mean? Which I think would be cooler instead of just like a perfect copy, because we already have like Yuta, what I mean, or Okotsu Yuta, who has like indiscriminate copying abilities at max potential for Juryoku or whatever. But and that you could take that however you want, depending on how he's going to be reintroduced into the series, because there is dialogue that says that he can't copy anymore or whatever, or that now that Rika is gone, it's not that same kind of situation. But at the same time, I feel like it would be cooler if Sukuna just had his own version of things based on, he could just copy things on the fly, but it was just imperfect, or it was just whatever Sukuna decided was enough to do, of a copy. You know what I mean? But this is this is cool, dude. This is cool.
I mean, going back to the finger panel, we can assume that, like, based off the top two fingers at least, we can see it's like one is kind of a nature looking one, and one is kind of an ice looking one.
Back with the book of fingers.
Back in this chapter 111 or whatever.
111.
Yeah.
And it would kind of go along with what you are thinking.
Yeah.
Because from what we know, kind of all the curses are on like a reincarnation cycle, right? So from when Sukuna was around doing things, the same kind of curses would have been around, except it was just different curses back then, or maybe different consciousnesses consciousness within these curses. Like there was a lava curse, but it wasn't Jogo per se.
Jogo himself.
It was fucking Rogo or some shit. So like he has a derivative of Hanami's, you know, cursed abilities and shit with this top finger and like an ice curse or some kind of obsidian or something with this crystallized one. He might even have like a derivative of the transmogrification ability of the human curse
because of the first finger that Yuji ate with the face on it.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of possibilities, and he's gonna be manipulating all types of cursed abilities and shit, man.
The line that really stands out to me is on page 18 or whatever, where he first takes up these flames or whatever.
The current chapter?
The current chapter.
18, you said?
Yeah. And the page before the last page or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says, after he takes up the flames, he says, oh, that's right. I thought you'd know about this, but I suppose a cursed spirit wouldn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is he referring to what you're kind of getting at, Eagle, that like all the cursed spirits now are just too young to know what he's doing?
Ooh,
or is it that he's just doing something that's like maybe more a deep technique, a more advanced technique? And because he says a cursed spirit wouldn't, but he didn't say like you youngsters wouldn't. So that kind of implies to me that other shamans would know what he was doing if they saw him do it. You know what I mean?
Because they have the technology and the history of like studying curses like throughout throughout time.
Or they just like they can see he's using Juryoku in a certain way that maybe a cursed spirit just doesn't do.
This might just be like one of the very like extremely high level techniques within the series that like only like a few top tier people know about.
Right. Whatever it is, like this is obviously super huge for not just Sukuna, but Yuji, you know what I mean? Like, will Yuji get any sort of access to these latent abilities that Sukuna has now that he has all these fingers? All these fingers within him now, you know, I don't know.
That reminds me of One For All.
I might feel kind of cheap, although I feel like I have wanted Yuji to get an ability besides the
memory
Black
manipulation.
Flash.
Oh, besides the Black Flash.
But he does have the best friend memory.
Supposedly,
I think so.
supposedly.
I certainly think so.
Yeah, that's
I
tight.
am along the lines of thinking that is Yuji's ability because
we covered that pretty heavy on one episode.
That was weeks
super
back.
In depth on that. And dude, you killed the game on your words on that. I completely forgot about that until right now. That was an amazing Jujutsu segment.
Shit, that's about all I had on the chapter.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
That was great.
All right, then with that, I think we can go ahead and move right into chapter 78 of Chainsaw Man, Snowball Fight. And man, like y'all were saying this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, but like it really is crazy to think that we are only 78 chapters into this fucking series, bro.
Dude,
like,
what the fuck, dude?
Wild.
It feels like we're like 200.
Me up.
Yeah,
this is very tragic. So tragic of a chapter.
This is a very tragic chapter. Am I the only one that heard?
Is this something that's like specific to Aki? Like, I just want to ask you guys, is this something that's specific to Aki, or do you guys think that like
you're trying to snowball fight?
He's a devil. He's a devil. So in the case of devils, are there like consciousness trapped inside them in a similar fashion to this? In the case of all devils,
you mean all fiends or all
fiends? Yes,
fiends like this. I wouldn't doubt it because we do know from Arai, the violence fiend, that fiends do retain some portion of their consciousness, right? And where is that consciousness? You know what I mean? Now it's hard to say, was Arai like in a scene like this with, that he doesn't know what's going on and all of reality looks like different to him and he's kind of just going through this. I kind of doubt it because, the violence fiend seemed really with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he seemed very put together, like he was talking with, Kobeni and whatever. So like, I don't know. I feel like this might be either Aki is just like super more dead than Arai was, or more traumatized by this situation than Arai was relative to the violence level. I mean, like, think of how awful it would be if the Gun Devil took Aki over. You know what I mean? When you're Aki and you hate the Gun Devil so much. I don't know. That's a great question.
I think that might play a part into it.
It could just be because it's so soon after he's been taken over to where like he's however much consciousness that, or however much of himself
is
he
left
does get,
within him,
is like still catching up to the events that's happening here. It could be that coupled with the fact that like he doesn't have any eyes, so like maybe like he's just like can't see what's happening. Plus, you know, he's so new to being a fiend that like he's having this like this traumatic like vision. You know what I mean?
I love that point of that he doesn't have eyes and he's seeing through the gun devil's portion of the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just like fucks me up when I think about like a fiend like Power, where she seems like she's chilling and having a good time.
Yeah.
But then you're like, okay, is there a consciousness trapped inside her thinking that this is like a false reality?
Well, we don't know. We don't know who she was before she was a fiend. So like,
or how alive she was. Where like I think some of that what you guys were saying might play a part into it. Like how, you know, was she alive when she turned into a fiend as opposed to like Aki being dead?
No,
you know,
I think fiends are always a dead. I think fiends are always a dead body that's taken over by a devil. But like, I guess I just mean like how violent the death was, how much of them was left. You know what I mean? For the devil to take over. Okay, maybe brain injury during death, because you know it could be magic, obviously, to get your consciousness, but. You know, consciousness is in your brain or whatever.
It's like a chimera ant situation. It's like a chimera ant rebirth. Yeah. So like you die, then you get your brain eaten, then you get birthed back out. You know what I mean? And then over time, you get more of your consciousness back. You know what I mean? And that can vary depending on like how much you go through as an ant.
Right. I hope we get more exposition of like how exactly this fiend creation happens. You know what I mean?
Dude, I would love like a phagogenesis inside of Hunter, like diagram, like breakdown of like what this shit really fucking means. Dude, if we get a diagram in Chainsaw Man, God.
That's I was gonna say we ain't getting no diagram. You know what I mean? That's not how the story is given to us in Chainsaw.
I know, dude. What the fuck?
Fujimoto don't do it like that.
I know, dude.
We just gotta feel sad at how tragic this chapter is.
Let's rein it back in here and actually into the chapter.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, shit, it's just right at the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, okay, Power's here, great. She's on your team, Denji. And fucking, I mean, it just, most of the chapter is just action, you know what I mean? Like,
just
very little
juxtaposed with the,
one thing I wanted to bring up, like, to skip ahead a bit or whatever, and feel free to bring us back if I skip too far or whatever, but like, say some cool things I noticed in this chapter, page 7. So at this point, first thing I want to point out is on the top right panel, the chainsaw noise, you know, is part of the panel divider.
Yes. I just noticed that right now.
That's so cool. And the same thing happens on page 8. Page 8 with the sound in the bottom left. It's like part of the panel division, which I think is just like a cool aesthetic effect.
That is really cool.
Yeah. But the only thing,
Fujimoto in his bag.
It really helps carry the onomatopoeia throughout the page.
And it like doesn't have the onomatopoeias covering up so much of the action, which kind of is cool too or whatever.
I like that.
But if we go back to the beginning, Denji is in the snowball fight area. Denji's an adult, and page 7, Denji is now a child in a winter coat.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that implies that Aki is like losing it even more. You know what I mean? Like slipping away and falling into this illusion. But clearly, like things are changing in terms of what Aki is perceiving.
Yes. Wow.
And then we just get into this huge violence. All these people dying.
Am I the only one that heard pumped up kicks in the background while I was reading this fucking chapter?
All the young kids with the
pumped up kicks. You better run, run.
That's crazy.
Outrun my gun.
You can't outrun the gun devil when it shoots like 5 city blocks into a line.
I know, it is boom.
Yeah.
That shit's nuts, bro. But yeah, just all the people dying. I mean, this chapter, like, I feel like there's not a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless, you know.
I mean, another thing I noticed, like, or I think it's you obviously it's what's going on, but like, Denji's protecting people.
Yeah, Denji. Yeah.
That's not a thing he's been doing very often in this story. If
he has like maybe like 3 specific moments where he like goes out of his way to protect someone. When he was fighting the Katana Devil and he saved the girl on the train.
Yeah.
And then I think he saved someone when he was fighting the Doll Devil.
Sure.
And then
and he felt bad about the Doll Devil stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you go back to the Bat Devil, he literally like and the Leech Devil, he like took a car with someone in it and threw it, at the devil or whatever, right? Like he didn't give any fucks before, and now he's growing as a person.
Which
in terms
you think
of
he would be losing more and more of his humanity after going through all of these things, and that's kind of been implied in the narrative that he would start to lose more and more of his humanity, but he holds on tight to that shit and actually is becoming more of a conscious, like aware, an empathetic and compassionate individual after everything that he's been through, which is crazy, like growth in his character that a lot of people might miss going through it because of how high octane the series is. Yeah. But like Fujimoto knows how to just sprinkle that shit in there. Like if you could find it, here you go. You know what I mean? Like good luck though, because the shit is balls to the wall every 100%. Fucking chapter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And okay, so we were talking about how Aki is traumatized or whatever, how much of his consciousness is there, and the fact that he can't see anything with this gun devil vision. But at the same time, like Denji inside of this exchange is talking to him and saying, you're not you.
Wake up.
Wake up. It's not whatever you're thinking is not reality. And he can't even hear that. Or maybe it's just not him at all. Yeah. So it's like, but he's clearly having visions of himself and Denji in his youth, so he identifies that he's tussling with Denji in his mind, but the words aren't getting through to him.
Right.
So it's like,
and here's another question I have about this in terms of like the dialogue, right? Like he's doing what Makima told him not to. Makima just said, just fight. Yeah. But now I'm thinking like, why? Why does she want him to beat the gun devil? It seems like she'd want to control the gun devil. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe beating him will let them, control the fiend or something in some way we don't understand yet or something. But like, it just seems, I'm trying to figure out Makima's motivation more than anyone's here. Aki is just, in a berserker rage kind of thing.
Well, maybe the timeline is like, okay, kill Aki so that you can get access to his devil.
Right.
You know what I mean? With her control aspect.
With her ability. Yep.
And then she knows that she's going to defeat the gun devil because she has access to all of these other devil contracts. And then as soon as the gun devil dies, it's going to jump in to make a fiend contract with the most promising dead body. Yeah. You know what I mean? So she sees all of this panning out and knows that she's not going to have the opportunity to control the devil in between her defeating it and it becoming a fiend. Sure. So she tells Denji, the fiend is going to, or the gun devil is going to become Aki and come for you. Yep. So yes, don't think, just kill it so I can have access to this devil again. Yeah. It could be a situation like that.
But it's still it's hard because as far as I think we understand, if you kill a fiend, then the devil goes to hell.
Goes back to hell.
Like you kill a devil, it goes to hell. But if it doesn't want to go to hell or wants to get out of contracts, it could instead become a fiend for that second life. Yeah. And if you kill a fiend, I feel like then it's lost. You know what I mean?
So maybe she does want to control it, but she's already resolved herself to know that because the gun devil made a fiend contract or made a fiend situation inside of Aki, that the best situation is just to kill it and send it back to hell because there's no Denji to bring it back to Earth anyway.
Right.
So it could just be she weighed that she saw the situation as this is the best I can do. Let's just get it out of here and put it back in hell instead of trying to have it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
As we get this last panel.
Yeah. I mean, before that last panel, we get a little dialogue from this child Aki in the snowball fight world or whatever. Yeah. And it's very reminiscent, if you remember back to chapter 13 when we first get the gun devil introduced or whatever. In Aki's flashback where him and his little brother Tayo, they go outside and Tayo's a sick child and the gun devil he's like, all right, fine, go get your glove, we'll play catch or whatever, you're gonna get hands cold if you don't have gloves or whatever, so go get your glove or whatever. And he goes to the house and then the gun devil kills his family, including his brother. But now Aki's kind of saying mom and dad are always fussing over Tayo, they never pay attention to me,
right? So we see jealousy
now my life is finally kind of fun, and it's just so tragic. He's he's losing himself. He's losing his whole motivation of what his goal in life is. And he's enjoying having the power of the gun devil. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's like, now I don't have to feel bad about being hurt. I can hurt.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I love that.
I can do whatever I want. I'm the best now. You know what I mean? So tragic. And then he just throws that last snowball at Denji.
Yeah, and then he rips him in half. But now that you mention that, like, this gives us a little bit more insight into why Aki is so passionate about finding the gun devil and getting this revenge, because he took his little brother for granted.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and he was like, all he did was just jealous of Taiyo. And then before he knew it, his brother was taken from him at the drop of a hat, and he probably thinks back on that like, I was such a douchebag for like, at least I had a brother. And now the gun devil took my fucking brother away, while there was this like weird feeling that I had towards my brother while he was alive that there's never going to be any resolution for. Like, that probably is a huge fuel for his motivations to track him down and find him.
And I think that's why this fiend dream is this scene. You know what I mean? This scene is essentially exactly after the gun devil killed his family.
Oh,
you know what
man.
I mean? And so it's you can tell now, I think, now that we've thought about it, like, why we're seeing this kind of weird scene right now. But super tragic. I'm now very worried about Power. You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna happen next chapter? Because Power is in the fight. Gun Devil knows about Power. Gun Devil considers her a target because now she's part of the snowball fight, and it's like, I'm so scared because I don't want my girl to die.
Not Power, bro.
Not Power.
Yeah, somebody got to pull that ripcord.
If Power dies, we riot. Sorry.
Tough. But
that's all I had for this chapter.
About all I had.
Yeah, I'm good.
With that, then we can probably go ahead and jump right into chapter 24 of Mashle, Magic and Muscles, Lance Crown, and the Mage of Mud.
Yes.
I love that Lance gets a focus chapter again. Lance is so,
man, this just makes
tight.
me miss Kiko again, because this is his guy.
Yeah, this is guy.
Right.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. We get this hype panel at the beginning of the chapter. Who is this? Who's this guy that Wahlberg sent in?
Isn't this
this is
Finn's
Rain?
brother?
Yeah, this is Finn's brother, Rain Ames.
Yes.
And as a reminder, he is the divine visionary.
Yeah.
He is a student at the school, and he currently is like the highest, ranked in terms of stars, and so he's the divine visionary. And the letter is from the headmaster, Wahlberg. Telling him, go to the basement, So that geezer likes to boss people around or wherever. Yeah, so we're gonna get some shit for sure. If we go to the next panel, now we get a next page, rather, the color spread. We get the official color for Finn.
Yeah.
So if it now I think you can know now what also Rain and what's the other Rhodes. So it's Rain, Rhodes, and Finn. So they all must have yellow. This like kind of white and black hairstyle is actually yellow and black or whatever.
Yeah. Which is also indicative of lightning.
Yes, absolutely. Rain's eyes is also just solid white or whatever, solid yellow rather.
Yeah.
Like Finn's eyes.
So
yeah, pretty tight. And then we get in this sick fight. Ooh.
So wait a minute. Wahlberg.
Wahlberg
sent the older Ames brother downstairs, so he knows this is happening down here.
Presumably, or I don't know why he sent him to the basement, but yeah, I guess probably knows.
Okay.
I'm also liking the blue hair and blue eyes on my man.
Oh yes. Yes, I like that.
I love that too. Yeah, I love this color page here. But hold on, real quick. So if Wahlberg is sending the divine visionary downstairs, he's got to know that Innocent Zero is down there, which kind of like reinforces our idea that the masked character is Innocent Zero, doesn't it?
Yes, because Wahlberg last chapter was just meeting with that dude, the warden of the prison or whatever, some guy at the bureau who said like, this dude escaped, this dude helped these people escape.
Yeah.
And then Wahlberg tells the divine visionary, go check it out.
Yes.
And maybe, so he doesn't even probably know that anyone's down there. He's just sending them there because he knows that the Magia Lupus or whatever is involved somehow with this Innocent Zero and everything. Yeah, I think we were definitely onto something last chapter for sure.
Wow. Okay. This fight was amazing. We have confirmation that mud attack that dropped everyone down into the thing is actually this character here. So that means that giant ram behind him was Man of Malice.
Oh, sick.
Yes. So that was a representation of malicious intent.
Oh, yo.
Which makes me very excited for the future of the series, because we're going to see more of that.
Yes.
And Come on, bro. That's our shit.
I'm all for that. Yeah, great point. I love
that.
Yeah.
And okay, so we were talking last week about how it didn't make sense that it was any of these characters' magic that sunk them into the things, because the characters that they ended up facing off with, they didn't know they would see.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as soon as they all sunk down, even this dude who uses the magic was like, "Oh, I got Lance."
Right.
Like, didn't he seem surprised last chapter that he was squaring off? I mean, it makes sense for everyone else to not know who they would get, but for this dude specifically to be surprised.
Guess what you could say is that he was down here, and his magic isn't sensing who's up there. His magic is just they're in the trap area. He can probably sense like the ground where they're standing on because of his mud ability is there, and he just says, just send them all down, and that's why even two people were grouped together into one. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't he just split them all up into individuals? I guess because one of them had two people in it, but I think he probably just didn't know who was up there, and he was just activating a trap kind of thing. Okay, that makes sense. Fuck yeah. So going into the fight though, this is fucking awesome, dude. And this kind of like exchange
these
that we have
clones,
here,
bro.
these mud clones for one, and like the technical application in the writing of the strategy behind this fight is so like promising for
it's on the right track
for the series.
Absolutely.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's very, even though this definitely does seem like a softer, magic system, the way that these fights are done in regard to the choreography, in regard to the internal monologues that the characters have about what's happening to them or happening to them throughout the exchange brings, a hardness to it that like it hardens it, you know what I mean? Because like you can have, not very firm, and maybe we will get them. But for right now, you can have like you might be missing diagrams that explain exactly how the magic works and specific rules that like everything has to be adhered to in ways that we'd love to see in energy systems. But if you know that you don't have a system like that, then making up for it inside of the strategy, of the system that you have is what brings a certain level of
rigor or like
predictability so that we can know, like we as people reading can like assume like how things could go. Outside of just mana clash, my strongest attack versus your strongest attack, and let's see which one wins. You know what I mean? It creates a lot more depth to like the possibilities that we'll see inside of this. And it's like, if I can, my two main things inside of energy systems, if you can keep me guessing and I don't know how this fight is going to end up and you surprise me with the outcome at the end, I don't really care how soft your system is. Or if you have a hard system, that's obviously the preferred situation, because then I can reference back to the rules that have been established about the energy system to kind of like try to have like, a mental vision of how I think the fight would go with the information that's been given so far, and maybe be right sometimes. I'm not saying I have to be able to predict exactly the flow of everything with the rules you give me, but just like make me think more than just he's going to throw a bomb, he's going to throw a retaliation, they're going to clash, the protagonist is either going to win or lose based on that mana combination. You know what I mean? It just makes it a lot more fun. If there's depth like this, you know what I mean?
For sure. So we get like Lance talking about it's a mud clone ability, so I have to attack the real one, which I think is and like what I'll do, I'll attack the entire field. Like that makes sense to me. Or when he I love that he like changes gravity from up and down to like left and right. Super sick. And he's like unaffected by it, which is also tight, that he's not affected by the gravity or whatever. Or maybe he just like has like zones where like this zone he can change the thing or whatever. But like then the dude like gets shot into the wall. And he goes
throwing
like
the shards of shrapnel.
Yes.
But first he's like, oh, that doesn't do anything. Like I just have to create
soften the area
behind the wall, and like he can probably make the wall a millimeter thick. You know what I mean? And behind that mud, so like it still looks like a wall, but then you hit it and just like it's like paper or whatever, and then he goes in the mud and he's unaffected. But then like the response with, well, I'll shoot hard things into your mud or whatever.
And then what,
like, dude? Yes. Like it's just as you say, it's very promising. You know what I mean? For actually some good fights that we can really analyze for sure.
You said that very well. I think the application of this mud magic is cool because he makes like a spike. You know what I mean? At one point, it's not just making the environment more malleable. He can also reform it in ways that are dangerous, outside of just sinking or sticking.
He makes like
really
the
fucking
hardened fucking cannonballs and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the dialogue here in this exchange is amazing because this is something that we were expecting, right? Obviously, inside of a magic story, you're going to have those that are blessed with more mana than others. They're going to think that they belong to a certain sect or group of people that are better than others because of how blessed they are, with mana and whatnot. So you have a very, defined classist kind of like situation here. And the dialogue here that Lance retaliates with is like one of my favorite ones, nature versus nurture. You know what I mean? Is a very compelling, philosophical like situation inside of like conversation and argument.
Right.
But the way he says it here, man, what did he say? He said,
surround yourself
when you're
with
driven by
garbage and
real
you'll undoubtedly-
convictions, as I am, the environment doesn't matter. I don't know why I got chills when he said that shit.
Yeah.
But I was just like, this character is fucking cool as shit.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we know what his convictions are. He cares a
Well,
lot
and
about
even
his
the quote
sister in
from
a
the
not
other
cringy
dude.
way. And so he's like, guess what, buddy? I care too much about the things that I need to accomplish for anything besides what I'm aiming for to matter to me. And because I care so much about those things, there's nothing you can do to me because you're so, you're thinking too much about how tight you are because of your position and because of your environment and because of all of the things that you get access to, like these labs and all of these items and all of these potions. Fuck that. Graviole. Now what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What were you saying though,
Absolutely.
Eagle?
Love you.
Yeah, you were going to say something though? Weren't you going to say something?
Me?
Eagle? Yeah, I kind of like cut you off for a sec. Sorry.
No, I think I lost it.
That's all good. I was gonna say, like, at the end of the conversation, then he even doubles down on the point and says, like, anyway, like, because he's trying to convince Lance to join the Magia Lupus and join Langhouse, and he's like, it doesn't really matter because you're saying better the environment, stronger the mage, right? Well, based on your logic, looks like my environment's better anyway because he's about to kick the shit out of this guy.
Yes. Oh my god, dude.
So good.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Oh man, love it, dude. And the page where he does the horizontal graviole spell, it's just like,
that was really.
It's like I don't even think about it because all we do is see the downward point.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he goes, no, like this, I'm like, oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
man.
Yeah,
love it.
I think that's
all I had to say.
Yeah, can't wait for the continuation of this. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna switch perspectives, probably, right?
Oh yeah, we'll probably jump battle to battle for a few weeks or whatever. Yeah. Climaxing at MASH, or maybe like one chapter for MASH and then go back a couple and then super climax with MASH.
For
But we'll bounce around a little bit for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, then with that, we can probably go ahead and move right into chapter 258 of Black Clover, A Captain's Duty, which is the same title as the chapter 2 chapters ago.
No way. Not 2 chapters ago, really? No, it is.
Oh no!
Wow.
I didn't even know that. Is it because they're hitting us with the same cliffhanger?
I don't fucking know, bro.
Tabitha loves reading.
It's still his duty for Yami to kick ass. So.
Or wait.
Swear to God.
No. The last chapter. Were there 2 cliffhangers in a row? Like 2 chapters ago, it was like last chapter.
Yeah, it was like Noelle doing the same lunge attack like 2 chapters in a row.
And then Yami
like
having the same like
chapter title
cliffhanger at the end of the chapter before this. I don't know. I just remember.
Regardless, I thought it was actually a very good chapter.
This was good. Yeah, this was tight.
I liked it a lot.
This was tight.
Yeah.
But the choreography continues to be fire.
I literally was super good choreography again.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's because it's 2 sword cats.
He brings the fucking shit up. They slice through it. Fucking Yami cuts his whole fucking arm off.
Yeah,
my man's. But then Asta tries to come in and do the same thing. He said, "Boy, if you don't get your ass."
Yeah, but this is good. But this is good though because it's like you. The last thing we would have wanted is for Yami to say, "Get up, Asta," and Asta to somehow find the strength inside of him to be more effective against the stronger version, or at least equally as effective as Yami, but also stronger than he was when he was at full strength fighting a weaker version of this opponent. You know what I mean? Like we wouldn't have wanted him to be that guy, you know, like it's good that we
Right.
see like their teamwork is really cool here where Asta's about to get hit, Yami kicks him. That's Yami's experience. That's Asta's inexperience being shown at the same time in the same moment. You know what I mean? And their teamwork at the same time also throughout the choreography. It was just beautifully done by
Right.
Tabata in that regard. The hype of their faces next to each other, like talking to each other and then stanced up. That's beautiful. I want this page colored. Page 2. That's beautiful.
Yep.
That's so fucking good.
And then, Yami just holding him down, kicked him out of the way of the punch, man.
Yes.
Yes, I love
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yes.
And he comes back. Fucking, we get this weird panel of like the devil. The way he's shaded was really weird. I didn't really.
I think that's like an
it must have just been an aesthetic choice.
You're talking page 6. You're talking page 6.
Yeah, page 6. Yeah,
I think that's like an after image, like where he's kind of sensing that he's going to move.
Yeah.
Over where the other areas are. This happened a lot in the Asta fight. This kind of
that's
like
why he
wavy.
death thrusted where he was going to move
Oh,
to.
yeah,
that makes sense.
okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. But Yami doing big things, and every time Asta tried to come in, it was just he was getting his
like
ass
you ain't ready
whooped,
yet,
man.
but you here, you making it better. But you ain't on my level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
He's half dead, first of all, and he's not Yami. So I feel like this was an incredible representation of what this teamwork should look like given the circumstances.
And then
at the very least, man, like sometimes I feel like we were saying a week or two back about how like when we get Yami fights, it's really refreshing inside of Black Clover because he's one of the few characters where we get actual devoted like inner monologues to him developing new techniques, working on his shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like now in this chapter, we get the same thing from Asta. And I just be thinking like, man, we really be in our bag. Like they might really have interns listening in at Shonen Jump or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Or you know,
hold on, wait, these Project Manga guys are actually spitting right now. Maybe we should
maybe the editors are just thinking about the same lines,
scrap that chapter. No. Watch this podcast and then do this. Yeah.
God,
not,
dude,
redo it.
You know, we might at least be thinking along the same lines of the editors, you know. Which
That's way more likely
than
them going like, listen to these random weirdos that just
like, subscribers.
But yeah, man, going into this like.
We get
I think
Asta's
Nick, you
Kurama moment. We get Asta. This is Asta's Kurama moment. You know what I mean?
So reminiscent of that.
It is big Kurama vibes.
Yeah,
you know?
And everyone's expecting us to say that, but at the same time, it's like we know
it's what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we know that there are still differences here that they're trying to do. You know what I mean? And there's nothing inherently wrong with drawing like this kind of inspiration for your situation. It all depends on what you do with it. And obviously we can see here that, you know, there is still devil lore incorporated with this exchange, and it's not just Kurama, lend me your power. All right, you have a convincing argument. Here's the power. It's like, no, I can't. He says I can't do it like that given the circumstances. So I got to make a devil bargain with you, give up a piece of it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So he says, I can't do it as things stand, though. So is that him? Is that the devil telling the truth? And there is some kind of barrier that's preventing him from acting like Kurama, even if he wants to? Or is this just him lying and going, I want to fuck with you, but like, I'm gonna be a devil about it. You know what I mean? Because
I think maybe he might be lying because like it does seem like because he's out in the world, right? You know, he's not in the actual like devil space. He's out in the world.
I think this is
like Megikula or like Zagrid.
I think they're all in like an extra dimensional situation.
Well, I mean, Zagrid wasn't.
Zagrid, yeah, because he came through. With all of the ritual shit, like, and stars align, he was able to come through because like that was the point of that arc.
Right. Now this devil is in the book, right?
Yeah.
So when the other mages like Dante and Vanica, when they have their grimoire, that grimoire is their grimoire. right? And they're accessing the devil power through this, contract, not contract per se, but like, this relationship between the dimensions, right?
Yeah.
But correct if I'm wrong. I'm just like thinking off the top of my head here, like Asta's devil was from the book, right? He got the book, then he got the devil ability, and he stores the swords in the book, right? That he uses, but it's not like the book is sword magic, right? The book is the devil, right?
No, the book is sword magic because it was Lick's grimoire, which was
Okay. Thank you for Okay, thank you for reminding me. Yeah.
By the anti-magic, the devil we can presume is anti-magic because it was corrupted, which made the swords imbued with anti-magic energy.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, but in terms of the trickery, I do have a counter argument, right?
I think there is trickery here.
Well, let me give you a counter argument that it's not trickery.
Oh, that's not trickery. He's telling the truth.
That's not trickery because I think we get confirmation in this dialogue, where Asta says a minute ago, "You were really angry. I felt it."
Yeah.
Talking to the devil. I don't know why, but you want to beat that guy too, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think that dialogue is meant to be a true fact. Like that is definitively true, and we get confirmation here that this Asta's devil does have beef with this other devil.
Yeah.
And I think if he does have beef, he would try and help Asta, truthfully.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But then he can't, given the circumstances.
He truly can't.
So he has to take a piece of his body in order to make it make sense to give him as much power as he needs here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if that's true, then that means that later on in the future, those circumstances might not be there. And he'll be able to just be like, here's all my power unconditionally.
Sure.
You know what I mean? In which case, him giving away this body part right now is only temporary. Because like because obviously we see a new kind of like devil power inside of his arm. Like we've never seen his arm do this before. So you can assume that the part of the body that he gave up is his arm here.
Yeah.
You know
this arm is looking clean.
That shit is tight. It reminds me of Sakurai Ed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I want to give you a couple more arguments.
Or even D. Grayman.
Yes. Also that.
Yeah. Wow.
I think there's. I think it's. You could say it's very obvious that it's the right arm that's been sacrificed here. But I think there's a couple more pieces of evidence here anyway.
Yeah.
Page 12. Page 12 at the very bottom panel. There's kind of like this hand drawing over the face of the devil, right?
Oh.
And it is the devil's right hand reaching towards Asta. So there's the devil's right hand being used, and you can tell it's the right hand because
the pinky is space, and then there's space down where the thumb would be. That's wow.
Yes, and it'd be the right hand. Now then, page 13. Asta says there is no way a guy who can't handle this could become Wizard King, clenching his right arm. Yes, his right arm.
Or his right fist, yeah.
Yeah. And so then obviously you get this super awesome panel of him in his like devil mode, and his whole right arm is covered in this devil stuff. Looks super tight.
Yeah.
Now here's my question for you.
Full horn mode. He only had the little tiny horn before.
Yep.
Here's my question for the two of you. Is Asta's arm actually legit gone?
I was wondering the same thing.
So right.
Like
so
Guts, Guts from Berserk, and there's been Berserk references in earlier chapters in this arc.
Okay, well,
of course, Guts lost his left arm, but you gotta mix up a little
now his arm is permanently gone, and
that's my question. Do you think so?
Devil arm.
Well, this is what I was saying. This is what I was trying to say earlier. So like maybe it is gone, or it stays in this state.
Sure.
Permanently, and he just never gets a regular arm back until the conditions are different, or the circumstances are different later, and the devil goes, all right, I'm not in the same like bind that I was last time when I had to take your body part to give you power. Now you can just have my power. You want to know what? Here's your arm back too, because it's Black Clover. You know what I mean?
Like, Asta flips around the bargain and says like, I have all this power, I can do what you want, but you got to give me my shit back.
Yeah, I would, dude. If they did it like that, I would be like, fuck yeah, dude. I would love that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of think, he'll probably just be able to turn it on and off.
Yeah.
I
think that's very likely, but I think he'll decide if he had no arm anymore.
Yes. But if he had no arm, that would
until he went into combat.
And then
got the arm.
And activates, and then he gets his arm back. Remember?
Man,
that'd be super sad.
It would be,
cool. Like Fuego.
Fuego, yeah.
Oh. And then he's being trained by Fuego to use one arm techniques.
God damn it. God damn it. That would be
That's
so raw, bro.
Yo.
Holy shit.
Well, I think that's about all
Yeah, I'm
I have.
good.
That's all I had as well.
I am good.
Well, with that, then we can go ahead and move right into chapter 278 of My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Disaster Walker.
Wow. Fuck yeah.
This was an interesting chapter, kind of like shifting focus to all these characters who we've not seen for a while, you know, and they're kind of off doing, they're not in the heat of things, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting change of pace.
But the heat of things are moving towards them.
Yeah, it's about to hit them.
Like they're definitely not like in the Shigaraki area, but Kohei did a good job of just like not like relegating them to background characters to like pick up the pieces after the Shigaraki situation is over. It's like, oh no, the fight's coming to y'all too. You're all characters that are going to be used here. It's very different than how like these kind of characters were positioned in like the Hiei Hasaikai or the Yakuza arc, right? With the 8 precepts and whatnot, where they initially raided and there were fucking like heroes that stayed behind to like round up the like no-named goons or like the less important goons, and then everything went down with Chisaki like in the epicenter of the conflict. And then when it was all over, the next time we saw those characters from the beginning of the raid, they were literally just arresting the same goons that they started with. You know what I mean? It's like, no, dude, this shit is everywhere, and this is really fucking cool to see how they deal with a threat that is equally as high stakes for relative to their level as what's going on in the epicenter with Shigaraki and all the high levels. So that's really fucking cool. Obviously, we talked about it at least last chapter, how it was cool that we had the clash of Mount Lady and Gigantomachia. We were like, oh, this is really cool for Mount Lady's character. You know, before she was like, like kind of like, you know, there, and we knew that she was big as fuck, but like she was mainly relegated to like raunchy comic relief to a certain extent. But like now she's actually has a role, you know, or maybe not just raunchy, but just like comedic timing, you know what I mean? Like when Kamui Wood's gonna take down that one in the beginning of the series, and then she comes and fucking drop kicks it and takes all the glory or whatever. You know, she's been in situations like that throughout the entire series. But now we see her in a very serious situation with Gigantomachia, and we're like, fuck yeah, this is really cool for her character. But obviously, next chapter tosses her fucking aside with no effort, you know what I mean? Which
we do still get her grit and her determination. She was thrown off, and then she's like, no, I'm not letting go, you know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
But she knew that she wasn't going to be a wildly like capable, you know, like or formidable opponent for Gigantomachia. But yes, it does show her grit, it does show her resolve, it does show that she deserves the hero position that she has. You know what I mean? Which is very good to see. The League being on the back of Gigantomachia and kind of like just sitting there and like knowing that the heroes don't know that they're there, and obviously they're going to send heroes after Machia, and after he fucking like shoulders them, they're going to fly around on either side of them, and then Dabi can hit them with a fucking like blast wave of fire. That's really cool. But I think what we're seeing here with Midnight and Kamui Wood, when they sneak attack Kamui Wood, or when Dabi sneak attacks Kamui Wood and fries him.
Kamui Woods.
Yeah.
You got to hold that L?
Who, me?
You've been saying for like 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, that he got evaporated. Yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong as shit. I could have sworn I saw him.
Because I swore I saw him dead.
I swore I saw like it was like, I don't know. Maybe it was just because I didn't know what I was looking at, and it looked enough like it to where I just convinced myself that that's what it was. But no. But yeah, I definitely do hold L. I definitely thought Kamui Wood was a part of the, you know, random background images that got crumbled in the initial.
I mean, he just got his, you know, super counter element shot at him. Fire. I mean, fire has to be like his, you know, counter, you know, type. So is he dead now?
No, and I don't think that he's dead now, because Compress says right after Dabi shoots him, like, it's not wise to underestimate heroes. So like he must have like not put enough back into that fire blast, because he can tell you didn't even kill him there. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make sense for you to miss an opportunity to just completely kill a high-ranking hero like that you have in your sights, because you're fucking like talking shit and like thinking that this is a game, and so you send, you know, less than you need to out there to finish the job. And Compress is like, bro, it's a now or never for us to get these motherfuckers, bro. Like, you should be shooting to kill right now, not just casually laughing and throwing out weak-ass fire blasts. Like, that's Kamui Wood. You kill that motherfucker. He's like number 11 or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know
Sure.
what his ranking is, but it's just like,
Yeah,
we're doing the
high.
damn thing right now. Like, kill them. Yeah, you know,
So
and that was a really
have
cool piece of dialogue.
Yeah, I have a point in terms of earlier in the chapter when we first get back to the League on the back of Gigantomachia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy from the Paranormal Liberation Army or Front or whatever, Skeptic, Tomoyasu Chikazoku, he's like, why, like, let me off, like, why did you take me and not the others? I have to protect Redestro. I want to get your all opinion on why did they take him, because I was looking into his ability is anthropomorph, which creates clones out of objects, and then he can control those clones. So it's kind of like Dobby's ability, but instead of
or you mean
Dobby
twice.
turning it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, twice. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. Instead of twice creating clones out of himself, this ability lets you to take objects that are human-sized and turn them into something else. You know what I mean? And then control them. So I'm kind of wondering, did they take him to sacrifice his quirk to Shigaraki, to give Shigaraki this quirk because it is somewhat useful? You know what I mean?
Or it's either that
would be fine,
or it's let's create fake clones of other heroes that we have control over to confuse you know, to create like a kind of like maybe like a divide and conquer to some aspect kind of situation where you have fake clones of heroes attacking other heroes, and they are confused as to why people that they care about are turning on them, which can create confusion in their ranks.
With also just, Toga as well.
Scramble them, and then you have Toga as well. Yeah, this could be a super huge power move for them. But also,
I do like that.
I like what you're talking about though. With give it to Shigaraki. Yeah, dude. Wow, that would be drastic.
Because Twice is dead, right? So like now they don't have any clone ability anymore.
Oh, and bro, it's got to be that.
So we get this exchange here.
Maybe both, and then on the way to Shigaraki, they're doing what I'm talking about, and then they give it to Shigaraki.
Yeah, why not both? Yeah.
Okay. What do you say,
Eagle?
I was just saying, then we get this exchange here of the ice chick coming back, and then immediately getting hemmed up by Cementos.
Dude, Cementos is going in.
Cementos
I've never seen him look like this
right now.
I've never seen him, like, it's so crazy to see him look like this right now. Like,
yeah.
I will say
I'm not
I'm
sure
much
what's
more a
going
fan
on
of
with
Getten than Cementos. Actually,
I like both. I fuck with both of them so hard.
I really like this.
I love Getten. Yes, I love Getten. I've also always loved Cementos.
Is it a boy or a girl?
I thought it was a guy.
I think Getten is female. I think we got that.
So too,
I think.
Well, I like them.
Yes.
Regardless, they're tight as hell.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm unsure as to what happened. You know, who knows? I don't think she got hemmed up by Cementos so easily, but the way it flows then right into the fucking Redestro versus fucking Edgeshot, bro.
This is my favorite page. This is my favorite page on the entire shit. Like, in the entire chapter, bro. Because, well, before that even, it looks like Cementos and Getten's abilities are like, I just want to bring this up. It looks like Getten and Cementos' abilities are like going into, or they're like combining.
Merging.
Merging, you know, like countering each other's, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or maybe, you know, because you can see that it's coming up around Getten. But like, obviously Getten would have, you know, ice-related defenses around her, or it just looks like a combination of their abilities, like, you know, countering each other or canceling each other out, rather.
Right. The wiki, by the way, does say Getten is a guy, but that's not necessarily, you know, it's just a wiki or whatever.
It's just the wiki, But I could have sworn.
I thought they made a comment that like
dialogue when she was when they were introduced.
Like he looks, because he has the hood on,
or when the hood.
And all you see is like the VV eyes. You know what I'm saying, inside of the hood. Yeah. And then we're like, oh, dude, that dude looks crazy. And then the hood comes off, and it's like, oh, it's a girl. I could have sworn we got that scene. But
I thought it was a girl.
Yeah. But hey,
who knows though? Honestly,
we can go in and double check another time. But as for right now, that's fine.
Right. But
this
I just love to see Redestro
versus
doing shit,
Edgeshot,
man.
Yes.
And he's one of my favorite characters.
This is a cool matchup. He hulks
up with his quirk.
Yeah, this is a cool matchup though, because it's like normally, like, we've seen, you know, Edgeshot hit the fucking Ninpo, and then do the fucking like small piercing hole in everybody's fucking lung. That shit was fucking crazy. That's one of my favorite scenes in this entire arc. But
For
then
sure.
like up against a character like Redestro, it's like you have this stress armor. It's like can Edgeshot not just one shot you and like get through that? Like is he having issues with his piercing based fighting style because this is an armor based, you know, like quirk that he's dealing with right now? You know what I mean? Could that
I think he can pierce it because on page 6 he pierces it into his shoulder. He pierces it. There's blood.
Yeah. Is that blood or is that like stress armor
ricochet
fragments?
Fragments.
Yeah.
I guess it's hard to say.
Right. Yeah. Then that's why I'm thinking about it, right? Because it's like, if you're the Edgeshot, what, you're number 3 or 4? You know what I mean?
I forget. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're number 3 or
ranked.
4. Like your 1v1 capability against anyone that's not the final boss of this story should be relatively advantageous in your favor. You know what I mean? So like Redestro, you would think that in these 1v1 situations that Edgeshot as like the third or fourth, you know, ranking hero.
Yeah, I think he's fourth now.
Yeah, I think he is 4. That he would be like wildly capable in situations of like 1v1 combat against characters outside of like the final boss of the series, for example.
Right.
Because he performed, at least when All For One was originally like going on his, you know, rampage throughout the city, he was the only one that squared up with All For One, did some shit to him, and then got away unscathed because his quirk kind of allows that. Obviously, we can't expect him to like tried and true like take on a character like All For One or maybe even a Shigaraki, but like a Redestro, like where does Redestro fall inside of that like power ranking? You would think that Redestro probably couldn't 1v1 any of the top 10 heroes seriously. He's you know, I don't know where you guys like put Redestro personally, you know, but like just based on like we know that his quirk is very, you know, strong. Like that's a cold-blooded ass quirk, but just I guess just based on his performance in the series so far, all he's really done is just fight against Shigaraki and get, you know, blindsided by Tokoyami underground, but that's also because of his leg handicap. You know what I mean? So like just like based on like what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like Edgeshot should have too much of a problem with a character like Redestro, but at the same time, it's all matchup based, and it could be a situation where Edgeshot, you know, just has a hard time getting through armor based abilities.
Right.
You know
if it is an armor based ability, which I think you can say it probably could definitely be an armor based ability. Yeah. It definitely, the effect is some sort of like venom symbiote, like over the top of his face. You know what I mean? So like it is something on top. You could probably say.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, so his quirk is like turning stress into power. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the situation is very stressful, so he's very big here. Obviously, this isn't the true size of Redestro. Look at him in relation to Edgeshot. So we can assume that all of this extra mass is an armor type, you know, coating of the stress quirk itself. You know what I mean?
I do think that's a fair assumption to make.
But at the same time, though, like when you like, if you like zoom in on this shit here, like Redestro's actual head is big as fuck with this symbiote shit over it. Like, look at his smile. Look at his face that we can see. It's like half of Edgeshot's body. So I think I'm just forgetting how the quirk works. Yeah. And maybe his body does grow in relation to how stressed he is. And then he also gets this like symbiotic like overcoat of power over it. But is it really defensive? I don't know. But this is a really cool matchup nonetheless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. Then we move into this where it's Kamui Woods with Midnight chasing down Gigantomachia. We get the tossing of a Mount Lady.
Yeah.
She gets bodied. And
just running through, just keep it going, Juggernaut type shit.
I really like the Momo focus at the end of the chapter.
Love it,
because like
been
we don't
waiting
get a lot
for
of
this,
and like her flexing her strategic mind.
She felt like Captain America here when she starts telling everyone what to do.
Yeah,
she just immediately picked it up. You know, like transmission got cut off. She said, "Do this,
but
handle that." I got this.
It conflicting inside of her. She's like, "Okay, my teacher is fucked up. He told me like everything about this tells me to run away, but like individual character resolve, and this is what I need to do. This is what feels right now. All of my training tells me to do this, but you want to know what? You do this, you do this, you do that. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna fucking do something here,
right?
You know what I mean? And it's just like so cool to see that from Yao Momo, because it's like, I don't know, dude. Like I feel like everyone's been talking shit about Yao Yoruzu, about how she's barely a character. about how like, you know, none of these like, you know, side characters inside of Class 1A aren't getting enough focus. It's all about Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. And it's like, just chill, man. It's like there's story to be told inside, like at the, you know, like you're not just going to get this character's development, this character's development, this character development, all the way down the line. Right. And if you don't, they're not characters. It's like there has to be storytelling and world building in between. Obviously, there are characters that matter more than others, but it doesn't mean we're never going to get anything from these side characters. You're just impatient as shit, and you just like want like everything to be a character focused situation. So that
there's also like I feel like, you know, obvious tiers to characters. You know what I mean? Like obviously Bakugo and Deku get a lot of development. Shoto gets less development, but still a lot of development. Yeah. And like there's characters like, I don't know, like the dude with the tail and the dude with the eyes and the ears and the dude with the who eats cake or whatever.
Sugar Rush dude. I can't even remember buddy's name. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to lose it. Yeah, I used to have them all.
That's what I'm talking about. In the sense that like, I get that people have favorite characters, and I get that people are like, oh, I want more development for my character, but Yaoyorozu gets plenty of development relative to most characters in the series. She's actually a major character in the series. Yeah. Be happy that you get this because, you know, like the Horikoshi could easily give you not this. You know what I mean? He could just say, oh, she's cool, but you're never going to get any development. And we're getting development. So I think we should be happy with this because it is good development.
And I think the fact that she had like a really, you know, specific, you know, area of focus inside of one of the initial examination arcs, you know, like before like shit started really getting drastic on the villain side of things. Right. When she was teamed up with Shoto versus Aizawa, you got a very intense character focused moment with her there. Yep. And then, you know, and then it kind of goes away from Yaoyorozu for a little bit and focuses on other things. And I think she has another really major moment inside of joint training. I believe that those arcs are like, I don't know, maybe like 50 to 75 chapters apart from each other. So it's not like, you know, I understand you're reading this week to week and you're like, where's this character? Where's that character? But it's like, don't forget like what's happening all over the place and like what it means. They only get 18 to 20 chapters a week, and they have to tell a story too. Like you're going to see, like there's enough evidence there for you to know that we're going to get, you know, development peppered in for these characters. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like for you to just automatically assume that Kohei doesn't care about certain characters because you haven't seen anything from them in X amount of time. It's just like, that's weird as shit to me because it's like, like just pay attention and you'll see that like these characters get focused on when they need to, not when you want. You know what I mean? Right. This person knows what story they're trying to tell. You don't know anything besides the newest chapter. So like, maybe stop trying to assume what the author is trying to do.
Just go with it, man.
Just go with the fucking flow, dude. Stop being weird.
So getting back to the chapter, I do have a question for y'all. So Midnight is telling Yaoyorozu, like, put him to sleep. You will be breaking the law, sure. Yeah. But the situation is desperate. What specifically would be breaking the law here? Because she's here, she's out here, she's clearly allowed to use her abilities in defense of you know, human life and, you know, defending the country. They're sanctioned. This is okay. Is creating this like sleeping chemical illegal? And what is this sleeping chemical? Because she's clearly synthesizing vials, jars full of some sort of like substance, maybe a liquid, maybe a powder. I think it actually looks more like a powder to me. Yeah. And so like, is this did Midnight work with Yaoyorozu to synthesize her
give
pheromone
her the formula for
chemical
sleeping shit?
And because it's not naturally, you know, her quirk to do this, right? So it's not registered. It's like a it's considered a biological weapon. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're like, yo, like, but you got to do what you got to do. Maybe it's a situation like that. I hadn't even thought about this question. And I feel like we had the answer to it like somewhere in the narrative before this, maybe, or maybe you're spot on with what you're talking about right now. But just
if anyone in the comments wants to remind us, like potentially what she could be breaking the law with here, I'd love to hear it for sure.
I mean, we got dialogue from Momo about like as long as she knows like the genetic makeup or like the base components of whatever it is, she can create it within her own body. So it's not only outlandish chemical. At all that since the gas is created within Midnight's body, she would know the chemical composition of it and be able to tell her like, yo, this is what you need. And then Momo would be like, okay, I just need to eat this, this, and this, and I'll have what I need within my body to fucking make this shit.
Right.
And I would say that just because it's your ability doesn't mean you know what, say, your sweat is made out of, like on a chemical level like that. I don't think that necessarily is like.
So she would have had to have exposed Yaoyorozu to the ability in some kind of concentrated way. To where
you think that every ability?
I think Bakugo knows so young he already knows that his sweat is made of glycerin. Like I think
he knows his sweat is made of nitroglycerin. Okay, maybe that's a bad example.
Can he tell you what the chemical like composition of nitroglycerin is?
He just inherently knows it. No, I don't think he does.
Yeah.
No, but you know what it is.
Yeah, there's a difference between knowing what it is and knowing how to make it.
Yeah, and like Midnight's could be some even magical. I mean, it's probably not magical because it's like some sort of, but like. To say that Midnight just inherently knows intuitively because it's her ability what the chemical formula is, I think that's a stretch or whatever. But doesn't mean, but she can produce it. She can give it to a lab. She can have a lab analyze it.
That's where I was going.
And the other thing I was going to say is that Yaoyorozu cannot. You said genetic information. She can't do organic material.
Right.
Only chemical. Chemical composition. So if the pheromone is like a chemical, which I'm sure it is, right? Then she could synthesize it.
Wowza.
I think that's about all I had for this chapter though.
I'm
likewise
good. This is next chapter. 14 days 14 days
14 days till the next chapter is crazy for all of them. It's a big holiday
break next week.
All right,
crazy.
Anyway,
well then with that I believe we can go ahead and get right into chapter 985 of One Piece.
Can you believe
New Onigashima project?
Yes.
Can you believe we are going to hit 1,000 chapters this year?
This year?
Crazy.
Right?
Oh, it is this year.
There's only 15 chapters to 1,000.
It'll probably be the end of the year.
The New Year's chapter is 1,000?
It'll probably be the last chapter of the year,
Jeez.
Ooh.
Anyway, I'm ready for that. But this color spread,
this color spread's incredible. Fucking
the
Kid
color
and
spread
Luffy fighting over the Onigiri.
On
these toucan Sams.
Yeah.
I know they're not toucans.
On the back
toucan Sams. They're parents.
They're parents. I know,
You're
but like
banned.
that was.
You're
I don't know why
banned.
I said toucan Sams, but it's just so colorful. It looks like a Fruity Loops box, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, we get Kanjuro making moves here. He met them at the gate.
He met them at the gate with the smoke. He said, "What's cracking?"
And these headless horsemen he drew. He drew of them with no heads or whatever. Jeez.
I was like, damn, bro, this is like Oda really snapping in subtle ways here. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
This is a testament to like how drastic he can like write a situation, because it's like how underwhelming the arc has felt up until now. We're now starting to like really feel how heavy this conflict is going to be in this like very slow but steady, slow burn of a ramp up into this climax that no one is ready for, dude. No one is ready for what's going to happen right now. Everyone that's been talking shit that caught up on the wiki and has only been reading One Piece week to week for 2 weeks, it's like, all right, I understand, like, you think that this shit is soft, but no, dog. This shit is about to crack the fuck open, bro. And you can see it building for motherfuckers who have been reading One Piece for years like we have. We know when the thunder is rolling up into a giant fucking storm, dude. This shit is about to go crazy.
This is the horizon. You see it on the horizon.
Kiku puts on the Kabuto, bro. Oh my god. I was like,
I love this dialogue. It is so cold.
Dude, yes.
You may shut your mouth now, Kanjuro. The wounds this one's katana leaves do not vanish in the afterlife. Like snow that remains into the spring, they will continue to torment your soul for eternity.
Oh my god, that is one of the best
and then the rush
pieces of dialogue I've ever seen in this story.
The panel top right on page 8 where Kikunojo is
yes. Oh my god, these are panels, this is dialogue, these are panels that we have been waiting to see in Wano. Like dead ass, these are the kind of scenes you should see in the samurai arc. This late in the game of One Piece, Oda knows what the fuck he's doing, people. Sorry if you thought this shit was soft because you didn't like the Odin flashback. Here you fucking go, meatheads. Here you fucking go. Like,
We get some comedy from Inuarashi and Nekomamushi. Inuarashi's like, "What the heck's wrong with your hand?" And he's like, it's sick, huh? He's got the gun hand. And then later when they're doing the attack, like, "What's with your leg, son?" I got two swords now.
Yeah, I got two sword style now. Yeah. Oh man. And then this exchange with Yamato and Luffy is very well placed inside of this.
I'm so ready for this,
bro.
When he says, as Ace's brother, you should be giving me a ride on your ship. I'm like, yes, get Yamato on the fucking Sunny. I'm ready for this.
Need a very strong New World female brawler type fighter on the crew.
He's a guy.
Oh well, yeah.
But yes,
got it.
We need another. You're right, but we need another. I forget about that. But we need another like. We need another like brawling type, like hockey, like no devil fruit.
No, for sure.
Brawler type, like kind of like to like balance the hierarchy out in regard to like power, because you have a lot of like support caster types.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Inside of Nami, inside of, you know what I'm saying? Frankie even, you know what I mean, is more of a support role. But we need more like frontliners in general.
Right. And to touch a little bit more on like Yamato's gender. I mean, like, if we fast forward to the very last page, even Kaido says like the next shogun will be my son Yamato now. And like, again, like I said this last chapter, I think this is just a phenomenal direction for One Piece to take, given the kind of, you could say failings of the Okama way, and the Obaka or Kamabaka kingdom or whatever, you know what I mean? And like, I think there's definitely like some criticisms you can have of One Piece for those characters. And now in this arc with Kikunojo and Yamato, I think this is a great direction. But I think only time will tell like how well Oda will handle this. You know what I mean? Because it's a very delicate situation, and I think it's very easy to mess up.
To screw it up.
So far, I think Oda's absolutely killing it here.
Yes.
And I'm just so ready for Yamato to be a bigger part of this story.
Yes.
It's so good. Oh
yes. My God. Oh no, man! And then going into the Onigashima
Kaido's speech.
It's that, well, first and foremost, we got Big Mom here being introduced as Olin the Oida,
Zeus,
which is like so like this is cool. It's funny though because
Komurasaki's position.
Well, just like
she was
exactly. The
Oiran is like the
very
top,
high-ranking courtesan.
Geisha. Courtesan.
And it's just like, all right, well, that's cool that you gave her that. I mean,
let's be honest. She is the top.
The
top dog in the lady category.
Absolutely. But I mean,
Nami,
like, as far as like what a geisha and like a courtesan.
No, I know. It's obviously a joke. It's obviously a joke. Title.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, she's got fucking Nami and Carrot. No.
Wait, what about Zeus? Zeus is all burned. Zeus is burned with X's for eyes.
Wait, where is it?
That's on the Oiran panel. And in her right hand, she's holding Zeus.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Zeus is out of here.
Out of there.
No, Prometheus, you crusty bitch. I know you don't have a choice, but like, not my guy Zeus, man.
Right.
But this is just like further, like kind of like reinforcing maybe our idea that even after, now that he's been reclaimed by Big Mom, going back to the situation that he knew he was anxious to go back to and like scared to go back to, and the whooping that he receives for going back.
Right.
If Big Mom does go down here, Zeus is gonna be like, Nami, where you at? Let me like I'm ready to come back. Yeah, you know what I mean? I fucking hate it here. Like, yeah.
I love that. I love that. That Nami could get Zeus back. Definitely.
Yes.
And
I love that.
So Kaido, it's cool to get the confirmation that his plan is to go seek out the ancient weapons, and we know that Caribou's plan was to go and give him information on who Poseidon was.
Yeah.
So presumably he also has gotten information on
Shirahoshi.
Pluton being in Alabasta.
Oh, Pluton being in Alabasta, and then Shirahoshi being down in Fishman Island.
Which I do believe.
Yeah.
And also Uranus. We have no idea what that is.
We have no idea what that is. Yeah.
Presumably, if he feels confident enough to say to everybody, like, we're going after him, he probably has a good bit of information on who and what they are.
Yeah.
And so it's been a long time since I've heard Uranus brought up in One Piece, right? It's been a long time now. if we
It's been
recall
since
from
Aeneas Lobby, right?
right now, is
Wow.
Uranus a flying machine, and was that in Skypiea
The
where
Arc
Kaido?
Maxim?
Maybe. I mean, Enel built the Arc
NL
Maxim.
created it himself.
Yeah, he
Oh, he
made it
did,
himself.
he did.
But I'm just saying, like,
That doesn't mean
we
it
have,
can't
like,
be Uranus, though, right?
it does not mean it can't be.
Yes,
Because
it
like
depends
Frankie had
on
the
where
blueprints for Pluton.
Yes, exactly. So it depends on where
Yeah.
Enel got the idea, the
Yeah,
blueprints
yeah,
for
yeah.
his airship or whatever.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that, like, we know Kaido definitively was on a sky island on that
Yes.
suicide chapter where he
That's
jumped off a sky
That's
island.
right. Wow.
And so, like, maybe he was up there investigating some ancient weapon stuff or something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Something I find really interesting is that he's Kaido is talking about the Shichibukai and how they were disbanded or whatever, and he says obviously they weren't disbanded out of some weird whim.
Yeah.
It was because the Navy thinks they have a similar force that can stop us, and I think they're probably talking about the new pacifistas, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Most likely. I mean,
Yeah, I
like
think
that's
that's
been a
most
kind of
likely
a
option.
newer these like new model pacifistas.
Yeah,
but it could be
newer
something
model,
else. Yeah, it could be something else. But I'm very interested in that sentence for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
Obviously, the huge moment in this chapter is the betrayal of Orochi from Kaido. This is a very big, shocking moment. Obviously, we're going to have the things that we want to say about this, but I just want to say that this betrayal makes a lot of sense, considering, we don't need you anymore. We never liked you. We used you for your position, and now, obviously, the real top dogs are going to run this fucking country, and you should have saw this coming. You got too comfortable, buddy. You've always sucked.
Just because they are both bad guys doesn't mean Kaido needs to like Orochi.
Exactly.
Orochi is a scumbag, and I'm sure even Kaido can recognize
Kaido
that.
knows and has been known the whole time.
Yeah.
He's seen him doing his douchebag shit
and he has honor.
for
He
20
has honor.
years.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Kaido has honor.
I was going to say, we know from the exchange with Odin, Kaido has honor. Kaido told Odin, I killed that old hag for what she did. The trickery that she pulled on you where she transformed into Momo.
Yeah, and
I
we could
executed
see
her ass
visibly
for it.
on Kaido's face that he was like, I don't like what's going on here. I still have an agenda, so I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity that you've given me. But I don't like anything about this situation. Boom, I killed that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, the fact that he's so displeased with Momo, like, shows that he has huge admiration for the type of man Odin was, and that Kaido is a very honorable character. You know, in low key.
Yeah, and we see that in these exchanges that we're bringing up right now. We see that with the way that he interacts with his crew. When the Toby Roppo had that scene where they were actually talking to him, they were able to talk shit to him. He respects people when they deserve to be respected. Obviously, if you're opposing him, he can still respect you while still aiming malice at you. But like, if you're a part of his crew, he knows that, like, I'm not just arrogant Kaido who's always right. You can tell me I'm tweaking. You can talk shit to my face, and I will consider what you're saying, even though I'm in the position that I'm in. Whereas, like, a Big Mom obviously is very honorable, but she doesn't fucking play those games. You talk crazy to Big Mom, you're going in the fucking ground. So it's cool to see these,
Souls getting yanked.
Yeah, it's really cool to see these, these characters that are in these positions of power that we've been waiting to see for so long interact in the ways that they do. That makes so much sense for how much they've been hyped up, but also unexpected at the same time to see these kind of characteristics in their, or these traits inside of their character, but still making so much sense at the same time. You know what I mean? These are exactly how you portray characters that you've been hyping up for 10 years that we haven't seen yet, that we know are opposing forces. This is one way that Oda, like, keeps the stakes and the tension there, is by delivering very proper depictions of these characters after not showing you anything about them for a really long time. And so that we don't our expectations aren't, we're not disappointed in what we're seeing at all. In these amazing Oda-like ways. And that's so fucking cool to see here. Obviously, so like here's the elephant in the room. Do you guys think that Orochi's dead here?
I was just gonna say there could, like, the only thing I could see is maybe with the lore of the Yamato no Orochi.
Yes, exactly.
That could somehow play
he has
into
8 heads,
him.
so
exactly. Like, you gotta cut off.
But he's not in that form. He's not in that form though.
So who knows?
And also, what, like, say Kaido does want to kill him.
Yeah.
What will it do him if he grows a head back? Again, za.
Yeah.
I grew again, za. It's not like Orochi can even stand up to Kaido, and Kaido is definitely in the superior position here. Barely anyone is on Orochi's side here. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: you can take advantage of confusion, right? So at the end of the chapter, Yamato and Luffy are busting in talking shit to Kaido. So now there's going to be a conflict with Luffy and Yamato versus the Toby Robo. They're right in the fucking Dragon's Den here. And so this is going to turn into a very serious situation very quickly. Amidst that chaos, Orochi can scuttle away, regrow a head, and then start causing fucking like ruckus with his Logia form. Or with his Zoan form, rather.
Zoan form,
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and then it won't be just like an easy cut his head off again kind of situation.
Completely possible.
Yeah. That, or to play into what Nick was saying, where like not a lot of people are really rocking with Orochi.
Yeah.
A lot of these, a lot of this is based on honor and merit, right? So like, this could be a really deciding moment for like a really contentious point in the community that has been around since Orochi's introduction, where a lot of, some people think maybe he's not as much of a, like a quote unquote, maybe like a bitch as you would think he is.
Yeah.
And maybe like he's the type of character who acts really scary, but then when the chips really fall, he could really be something.
We've seen evidence of that inside of like his military might, when he was fucking like soiling the plan of the Scabbards, apparently, when he was dropping bombs at all the harbors and shit. Like we see
but
that
in terms of actual strength and nothing.
Yeah, but strength though.
Actual strength?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like he pretends to be afraid.
Yeah.
Potentially.
But he's actually cold.
Yeah.
So if he comes like back and grows another head and actually does have some sort of a good showing against Kaido here, maybe he does win a good portion of the samurai to his side, and then we really do actually get like the Orochi faction as a player in this conflict.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute, Nick. I'm gonna let you go. I think we just thought the same thing. But okay. You say what you're gonna say.
The Ayakaza 9 has 9 people, minus Kanjuro is 8.
Yeah.
What if they all each cut off a head at the same time in the final battle?
Okay. Wow. That's crazy.
Right?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. I thought we literally
just
had the same idea.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Okay,
yes,
what were you saying?
What I was thinking is that like maybe for some reason, I don't know why I thought about this just now, but I think that this would be crazy where, okay, so obviously Orochi sucks and he's the kind of character that we know him to be, but like he's got 8 heads, right? So what if each head is like a different kind of personality? And now that he's lost his bitch head, he's now like the second head, which is a more competent, a more confident Orochi. And as you keep slicing heads off, you get a tighter version of Orochi going into like his final form where he's really cold-blooded, bro.
That would
that would be nonsense. That'd be so cool. That might
be nutty,
because I think Orochi's shit, right?
That would
turn him around.
That would be so Oda to do that too.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Oh my god.
God damn.
Oh my. That would be. Oh, I need it. It's 2 weeks, and then when we come back from 2 weeks, it's gonna be like every other week because Oda takes a break every other week right now. And it's like I get it, but it's like I need to know. God damn it.
But and then we get this funny last panel here with Luffy and Yamato falling through the ceiling, and as Kaido says that Yamato, my son, will be the shogun.
Yeah.
She's like, not even for a second, you dumbass. What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
Hell yeah.
So okay, I just noticed this now on the last page, the page you're talking about. Look at that top right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kiku got Kanjuro out of here.
Yeah, I mean, is that what happened? It looks like it.
And and Kiku's crying here. You know what I mean? So like they could just be like, Kanjuro, I fucked with you for so long and I had to kill you.
Unfortunately, I kind of think Kikunojo got here.
Oh,
Look at the sword. It's pointed down so much in that top right panel. That's not going through a body.
No, it's after the fact.
It could be.
Yeah,
it could
be. Her standing there with the blood dripping off over his body.
But it could be also.
It could also be.
She failed, and she is literally dying right now.
Yeah.
And the blood on the sword is blood from her body dripping down her arm onto the blade. I don't want that to happen.
No!
I just. I'm very concerned now that I just saw this. You know what I mean?
Either way, it could be really well done. But I think I kind of am thinking more along the lines of Noxie, where it's like, even though you did betray us, like we really thought like that we were boys type shit, and we spent these last fucking 20, 30 years rocking with you, thinking that we were like day one.
And we just found out today that you're on fuck shit.
Yes,
just
exactly.
today.
So like,
and now I had to fade
somebody.
you. Yeah, and I had to fade you.
Oh, that's such a great reminder that it was only today.
It was hours ago.
Hours ago. That
maybe an hour ago.
That's this something that a lot of the times,
and said I'm on fuck shit. Yeah, like
that's something a lot of the times that gets lost in the fray of One Piece because of the pacing. But like the actual amount of time that we've been on this journey is considerably smaller than a lot of people would.
Very short. Very short.
If you exclude the 2 years of the time skip, I mean, it's literally been 3-4 months.
Yeah, even after the time skip, right?
Yeah.
Punk Hazard was like a day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And 6 months, maybe.
And then, well, no, like
everything,
a day.
Everything before the time skip.
You're saying total. And then Dressrosa was like immediately after and was like, days after and lasted like a day.
Yeah.
And then you go to Whole Cake and that was like
2 days.
A day, 2 days.
I think we got a night scene. We got a night scene.
Yeah, a night scene. So yeah, it's been like barely any time in One Piece.
Everything before the time skip was less than a year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly. Much less than a year, like months.
Yeah, maybe like 5
to
6 months max.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So so let me bring us back a little bit in the chapter because I do have another thing I want to say here.
Yes.
Page 16.
Okay.
So on page 15, Kaido claimed, we are going to claim the One Piece. Then you go to the next page 16.
14.
Nope, the page after Kaido, so page 16 or whatever.
Yep.
And Orochi's like, oh, isn't that crazy? And then Yamato goes, the One Piece ... because Yamato knows a fuck ton of shit about the One Piece
because of
from
the
Oden's
journal. Wow. And then you want to know what, dude? So Hannibal inside of our group chat was like, what if Oden wrote his journal in the poneglyph language because he doesn't just want information about the end goal to just be something that anybody can find at any time and translate. And Yamato can either hear the voice of all things or taught himself how to read that language because of how much of an Oden fanboy he is.
Amazing point. Which
kind of also at the same time like would invalidate Robin's position if Yamato did join the Straw Hats, which makes me think that like Yamato could die by the end of this, and then Luffy gets the logbook and then gives it to Robin. You know what I mean? Which could be a situation.
I would just say that just because you know how to read the poneglyphs doesn't mean you're at Robin's level. Robin has read so many poneglyphs, and so Robin knows the history.
Yeah.
Maybe Yamato can read it, but Yamato just knows how to read it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the history. So I mean, like you could have them working together. I also wonder, like, would Yamato let anyone else read the diary? Would he keep it kind of secret? It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But I do absolutely love the point of, is the diary written, the journal written in poneglyph language? Because it is a good point. Like, right, like, why would you put all this just high level information, like the most important information probably, and Oden obviously knows this, right? I mean, Oden was hanging out with Whitebeard and Gold Roger. Like, Oden knew that this was like really important for the planet, for humanity. You know what I mean? And so, like, would he leave this information just willy nilly around in Japanese or English or whatever you want to call it, right? I probably not. That's a very good point. I like that.
I like that. I like that too. But wow.
Yes.
Wow, what a chapter.
Well, shit, I think that's about all I had for this one.
Good. Yeah. Wow.
Man, what a great fucking discussion,
I think we did a great job without Kiko, but I'm so mad he wasn't here. This was so lit.
Hell yeah.
All right,
well, I think that's about it. And with that, that'll do it for this episode of the Project Manga Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did, Be sure to slap a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit that noti bell so you can stay up to date on when the content is coming out. Make sure you hit that comment section down below and let us know what you thought about this weekend jump, or just, any thoughts you had in general, questions you had, any of that.
Yeah.
Also, be sure, like we said, to visit that link tree in the description box down below where you can find links to any and all of our online communities, audio listening platforms to consume the podcast on, as well as links to support the podcast if you would be so kind. And man, with that, this will be another incredible episode of the Project Manga podcast wrapping up. I'm your host, Eagle.
Noxie.
And Nickums.
Sarabada.